The Salton Sea is a huge saline lake located in SoCal and holds a unique and fascinating history that spans both natural processes and human intervention. Centuries ago, the Colorado River would occasionally flood into the Salton Trough, filling the basin with water and creating a large freshwater lake, which became known as Lake Cahuilla. The last known instance of Lake Cahuilla filling the basin occurred about 350 years ago. As you enter the park, there is a nice little visitor center, great information, and fabulous docents to answer your questions. The presence of Lake Cahuilla would fluctuate until it eventually dried up completely in the late 17th century due to changes in the course of the Colorado River, and it left behind a dry, desolate landscape. The modern history of the Salton Sea began in the early 20th century when people sought to control the natural environment and to support agricultural development in the Imperial Valley. In 1905, the California Development Company constructed the Imperial Canal to divert water from the Colorado River, and for a while water was flowing into the Imperial Valley to irrigate the land.
Apparently people will be critical of this, saying that the pollution is the result of recent times of runoff from the agricultural land. But the docent said this has always been that way. That's where it came from largely, other than, hundreds of years ago, was from agricultural water runoff that came into this area. Although the fish have all died, when you walk along here, you'll often see lots and lots of barnacles. The barnacles were introduced from the military doing various exercises in here, and the boats they brought in had barnacles on them. And you would walk around here and the beach was literally littered with barnacles. Well, the barnacles are the last surviving living thing in the Salton Sea. Once the salinity hits 8, whatever that means, then that will kill them off too.
But back to 1905, an unexpected disaster occurred when the Colorado River breached the canal's levees and began flooding the land. For 2 years, the Colorado River's waters flowed unchecked, filling the basin with water and creating what became known as the Salton Sea.
Over behind the visitor center is this beautiful little freshwater spring, which actually has fish in it.
Apparently, some desert pupfish still live here.
There's a picnic table area too by the spring, and then that also looks out on the Salton Sea.
In the decades following its creation, the Salton Sea developed a reputation as a recreational haven, and particularly in the 50s and 60s, it was a popular spot for folks to come out from Los Angeles. There are many major projects being considered to bring back the Salton Sea, and one of the most ambitious is once again diverting the Colorado River in order to reduce salinity and stabilize water levels. But these require huge amounts of funding and coordination between state governments, federal governments, and environmental groups. The sea attracted thousands of waterfowl, and in spite of its problems with pollution and fertilizer runoff and saltiness, it still does today.
The Salton Sea could be the poster child for environmental mismanagement, but in spite of its issues, you look at it and it's still stunningly beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.